Alright, so we're in the finals of the third week of Grand Arena Championship, and we're going to continue with our concept of themes that I started a couple of matches ago. But before I go into the match itself, quick warning, there will be minor spoilers for the third sequel movie of the Star Wars, Rise of Skywalker. So if you're one of those guys who plays a Star Wars mobile game daily but still hasn't seen Rise of Skywalker after 3 months, I would advise you to stop watching the video now and not get into any spoilers. But otherwise, let's jump right in. So quick recap of the themes that we had for the first couple of rounds. First one was the light side offense, dark side defense, which did pretty well. Dark side teams have a really tough defense. I managed to prevent my opponent from clearing two of my zones. I was happy with this particular match. Pretty satisfying. The next match that I had, the theme was basically Master and Apprentice. So on offense, I used all my Jedi and Sith and kept the rest for defense, which really got one shot, and I wasn't really happy with it because I prefer to keep a tough defense. And it's very limited way that you can keep a tough defense if you can't keep any Sith or Jedi. So I decided to go with a theme where I'm able to keep tougher teams on defense. That's something that I really like doing because I want to prevent my opponent from clearing me at all costs. And at the same time, if I can clear my opponent even with a couple of battles extra, I really don't mind. But what I really want to do is go ahead and prevent my opponent from clearing me. So this is my opponent this time from Italy Strikes Back, Schizobi. Really good Jedi General Skywalker squad. Relic 7 on almost everyone except for Echo. Let's go back there. Yep. And a decent squad as well, pretty highly reliced as well. So let's go in and take a look at what my opponent has. One quick thing I want to show you guys is his resistance is really decked out, especially some of the newer characters. Both Resistance Hero Poe and Finn are reliced up. So I'm as well as the old Poe and Finn, and Resistance Trooper and Jedi Training Rey. So I think my opponent is definitely going for Galactic Legend Jedi Training Rey, or Galactic Legend Rey, which will be interesting to see. So I really hope that I run into his Resistance team on defense. That's something which I think will make the match interesting. Okay, let's go into the theme for this particular match, and I'm going with the theme of family ties. Now, family is there's one major family in Star Wars, the Skywalker family. The whole saga is basically about them, and you've got tons of people right from the prequels to the original trilogy all the way to the sequels. You've got folks from the Skywalker saga in there. But apart from the Skywalker family, there are a couple of other places also where you have related people in Star Wars, and especially related people in this game. So what I'm going to do is on offense, I'm going to use at least a couple of characters in each offensive team who are related to each other in some way or the other. So just a family theme is what I'm going to go with. So that means I'm free to keep all other characters on defense. So I decided to keep my usual tough defense. Out here I kept Darth Revan without Basti, since I used Basti with EP. I kept my General Skywalker team. Up top I kept Newt with some Separatists and Nest, hoping to draw out the Jedi Knight Revan counter over here. And then I kept Kira with Mission and Zalbar. It's not the typical prepared squad, but I've had better luck with this. It's slightly tougher. And then at the back over here, I kept Geos with the Spirit over here. My opponent has got really well relic Treya and Scion, I think Relic 4 and Relic 5. And he would be able to take out the Geo squad pretty easily. But the Geos, there's no family connection there, so I didn't want to use them on offense. I wanted to keep them on defense, and I wanted to use the Night Sisters in a family-themed offensive team. So I decided to pull out Spirit and keep her with the Geos. I've taken out Sunfac over here So this is purely a very high damage dealing Geo squad. My goal is his Scion is really fast, 274. So my goal is that my Night Sister Spirit with the 292 speed and foresight at the beginning, which means the ability to ignore defense, is able to go fast and do a lot of damage on at least one character. If she attacks somebody else, I'm hoping that she might at least get them down to half health. And if she attacks Scion, I'm hoping that ignoring defense and all that, she might be able to land at least some decent amount of damage, and then the Geos can fall off with some amount of damage. So let's see if this team is able to create any sort of problem for my opponent. I doubt it. He'll still probably one-shot it with 3 Sith, but it's worth a shot. And then I've kept Treya. I really liked on the dark side theme. I kept Treya for defense, and it performed really well. It took 3 battles and my opponent wasn't able to get it down. It sucks not having Treya on offense, but I think so. Let me show you the reason why I did not keep Treya on offense. So my opponent's Kizobi, his Geonosians are really well relicked. An R7 spy and relics on 4 out of the 5 Geonosians. So he's definitely going to keep the Geonosians on defense. I'm going to see it at the back sometime. And there's no way that my Treya squad with the G12 Scion and Treya is going to be able to withstand those kind of Geos. So I anyway have to use something heavier against the Geos. So I decided I might as well use Treya on defense over here and hopefully create some problem for my opponents. Kept him with the Pre-Taunter and Maul as well. So that's the back over there. And then behind the Revan and General Skywalker squad, I kept my Grievous, and I kept Shark T with some clones and Jedi. So that's really a B team. Don't expect it to hold, but at least strip some banners hopefully. But the General Grievous squad, there's a reason that I kept Poggle in there away from my the rest of my my Geo squad. And the reason for that is typically I usually go in with Watt or Droideka or some other separatist like that. Poggle has got a very interesting unique, which basically gives allies, separatist allies without hive mind plus 25% offense, and an additional 25% offense for each defeated ally. Obviously, this is not going to affect Grievous because he gains his damage from his max health. But other characters, especially B1, who really gains a lot from offense, B1 will be hitting really hard with the presence of Poggle in here. Right off the beginning, because B1 does not obviously have hive mind, he would get 25% offense just with Poggle being there. And with each enemy that you defeat, that my enemy defeats, like first time he'll probably going to go after B2 for example, that's another 25% offense game for B1, and he's assisting every time that any of the separatists go. So B1, my B1, who's already modded for tons of offense over here, about 7,600, tons of offense and speed, he will get 50% extra offense on top of that because of Poggle being in there. So I just want to see if there's a decent amount of damage which is done with my Grievous squad with Poggle in there. And Poggle has the additional advantage of being able to apply ability block on the basics. So if my opponent decides to use Night Sisters against my Grievous squad, Poggle assisting Poggle going and applying ability block on Daka will prevent the revives and will make the Night Sister counter that much tougher. But most likely my opponent is going to go Padme or Jedi Knight Revan against this squad. So let's see how that does. Yep. Okay, so that's basically my defense. Quick overview of my opponent's defense right now. They've got a standard General Grievous squad with the R7 on both B1 and Grievous. They've got a Kira prepared squad, low geared. And then they've got a Night Sister squad, not that threatening, only relic on one of them. And they have a Newt squad with a few really interesting characters, Watt and Dooku and Django, as well as Nest. So we'll have to take something interesting against that. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to give it a few more hours and then come back and and do my attack phase, preferably after my opponent has had a chance to go. All right, I'll catch you guys in a few seconds. Okay, we are back after a few hours, and my opponent has had a chance to go. So let's take a look at how they did. They did manage to clear my board, and one-shot almost everything. Out here in the front, both the Kira and the Newton's team were one-shot. No problems on my gas and DR. I think I got about an average of 55 in the first few zones. Got 52 on my Grievous, and the Shakti team, I think they got about 58 or so. So all of those teams were one shot, and then they did struggle a little bit against my Geos with Spirit, which I was happy to see. I saw the battle. The first battle ended with only Spirit remaining alive, and then they went back in and cleaned up for 38 points, and then one shot my my Treya as well, which I was hoping would at least get one hold, because I was hoping they would run out of teams. But apparently I think my opponent has kept tons for offense, so that wasn't an issue. But it was good to see that the Geos managed to hold out against Relic, Treya and Scion, which I'm sure is what my opponent used over here. And Spirit, I think, did a good job one-shotting some of the characters as the Geos were working on these guys. So I have a little bit of room, not a ton, 1858. I think I need about 53 per match to one-shot to win. So let's go ahead and jump right in. So what I want to do is let's go up top first and clear the Grievous and the Kira before we move on down south. So again, our theme is family ties. So for the Grievous squad, I'm going to go with my regular Jedi Knight Revan squad. And over here, like I mentioned, Jedi Knight Revan and Bastilla, they were married. So that's the family connection that we have out here. Let's go ahead, and this is the standard squad that I always use, so it's nothing surprising. Let's go ahead and take care of this. So let's pass this over to Yoda. Let's hopefully trigger B2. Okay, he's going to go next now. And hopefully this should finish him off. There we go. It is only a G12 B2, so nothing much to worry about. Now we can straight away go after Grievous. And hopefully let's get some stacks down. And let's get some more. And this should finish him off. A little bit left. It is a G, it's an R7 Grievous, which is why it's taking a little extra time. And he did manage to get healed up, which is not what I wanted, but this should do it. Alright, now let's heal everyone up and try to recover as many banners as we can. Let's pass this over to Basti. Let's save the Dispel for now. So Droidica is probably going to one-shot someone. I'm not sure if my Savior has been triggered or not. And I won't be able to dispel this. Let me just do this for now. And let's keep going. Hopefully we'll give a turn to Basti soon. Alright. So not very efficient. I think at least I should be able to recover full health on everyone, but probably won't be able to get full protection. Let's see if we can't give a little to everyone. Let's call Revan. Okay, I think probably 55. Yep, couldn't be helped. All right. Okay, so let's see what we want to take against the Kira. So there's Kira. There's not many good damage dealers out here, so not too worried about it. But I'll probably take my Palp squad. And over here, so this is the spoilers that I was talking about earlier. I want to take in one member who's at least a family member of Palp, and we've got his granddaughter out here, Scavenger Ray. I'm going to use Jedi Training Ray to use with Sidious later on probably, but this team, I think the four that we see above, Palp, Thrawn, Tarkin, and Basti should by themselves be able to take care of this team. There's not much damage there, but just got Ray in there for some additional help. All right, let's pass this over to Basti. Let's get some fear going. Fracture L3, and let's land stuns on everyone. Trigger the staggers. Let's reduce some more turn meter. Yep, this should be done fast. I don't think Ray is even going to get a turn probably. Let's see. Let's pass this over to Ray. Let her land at least a few hits. There we go. Let's fracture L3 again, and this one we should end with full banners, I think. Managed to get a little bit off. That's okay. I think we should still be able to top off Basti if Vandor doesn't die. All right, 59. That's fine. Ray landed the killing blow. Let's see what's at the back. I'm fully expecting to see his resistance squad and his geos at the back. Those two are really well done. There's his resistance. He's got bounty hunters over here, so it's probably, I think, there's his geos actually, the relic up geos. So I think the resistance is going to be down below out here. Okay, so we have planned for that. So I'm going to go ahead and take out these two teams, see what's at the back, and then we can decide what to take up top. So against the sisters, I'm going to go with my bounty hunter. So I saved my bounty hunter team specifically for this theme, just because between Django and Boba, you've got the best father-son combination in the game. You've got a few others, but they really don't have synergy. Django and Boba obviously have tons of synergy. They share tons of mechanics, like bounty hunters resolve and all that. The other father-son duos that you have, both Vader and Anakin, barely have any synergy with Luke and Leia. There's they're completely different factions: Jedi, Sith, Empire, and then the other one is Rebels. And then the other father-son duo, Han Solo and Kylo, there's absolutely no synergy there as well in terms of faction. So these guys are pretty good together, and decided to go with Boskley just because of the extra protection and health recovery. I should go first, and let's see, what do you want to do? Let's lay down some burning and go after zombie. Okay, let's start getting some debuffs around. I'm going to block Daka, and let's get some more debuffs. Alright, now we can go and execute someone. I think I'm going to do Talzin. There we go. So she's not going to come back. Alright, let's keep going. These guys are not hitting that hard, so that's good to see. I'm going to execute Sister over here, Night Sister Spirit. And let's taunt again. And let's go after Asajj. I'm waiting to get Bounty Hunter's resolve. Alright, this should finish off Asajj. She's the only one relicked up right now. So let's go get some more debuffs on so that we can recover some more protection on Zam. I think she's the only one who's missing some protection. Alright, I think now we're good. Let's go ahead and finish this off. There we go. This should do it. So relatively simple battle for 60 banners. Um, Django and the Bounty Hunter is always good against the Sisters. It's a hard counter, especially against these ones which weren't as relict. Okay, so we've got one left in the front, and this is a bit of a tricky team because Django is going to get healing immunity. You've got Watt in there, and you've got a Relic 5 Nest, who's modded for Tenacity. 52k health, 132% Tenacity, and relatively decent damage. Okay, so um, against this, I want to take my Night Sisters with 1000 lead, just because these guys don't really have much healing apart from the heal over time that Watt gives out. And they'll be taking plenty of turns, so I think Plague should be able to kill them. And I think Plague should do a decent job against Nest as well. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to take Savage in there, under 1000, to hopefully be able to land that massive damage once Nest gets under 50% health, which she will do with all the plague going around. And this is the reason I decided to take Night Sister Spirit out and keep her on defense, because I wanted to try something different. And the combo over here is Talzin Savage. They're basically mother son. Talzin had two biological kids. There's Maul and Savage, and that's basically the theme that I'm going for over here. So the one danger that I anticipate with this team is we have got Watt in there, who's going to, if he gets the weapon stack off, he's going to prevent he's going to cause people to prevent the revives, and most probably the weapon step might go on Django. But I'm hoping to. He's got less health. He's only got about 20k health or so, and my Talzin is faster than him. So I'm hoping that Talzin will be able to one-shot him with the plague. But let's see. It depends on whether it crits or not. So what's going to happen first is Talzin. What is going to give the taunting tech to one of the others? Who's there's no tank on the team, so they're not going to taunt. But that tech is going to go out, and then Talzin and Asajj is going to go, and then Talzin is going to go. So let's hope that we can get Watt out before the Dooku is gone. And Watt is gone again. And he's given the med pack. Okay. Let's get these guys out. I'm going to do a mass assist on Watt and get him out. I think that's better than Plague. Stun him. Okay, let's do this, and Watt is down. Okay, that's great. So we prevented the weapon stack from going out. Django has lost his damage immunity. Now we can safely play the game and get the plague out. Let's do some let's try to get some plague out on Enfys. Now the next order of business is let's try to get Watt Dooku down, but we'll have to wait for that. Okay, let's get some tenacity down out here. Plague is going to spread because these guys are going to go quite often. Let's heal up and dispel that. Let's try to land a stun on Dooku. Let's try to go after Newt. Okay, let's try to get Asajj back when we can. This should get Asajj back. What do you want to do now? Let's try to get rid of Django, because he can do some damage. Ooh, this is bad news. Let's see if we can get someone down. Okay, we got at least her back. Now we need to do basics and try to see if we can't get someone else back. This is a touch and go situation. Let's do basics again. Let's try to land some plague. Ooh, that's not good. Okay, let's do basics on nest. Okay, we managed to land a stun. That's good. Let's do basic over here again. Okay, that's great. Now, hopefully, this should be able to get everyone back. Everyone except Savage. Okay, because he's not a Night Sister. Yep, that's the beautiful thing about Night Sisters is that they're never really out of the game. Even though I lost Daka over here, under Talzin lead, they're never really out of the game. Now, the problem is I lost Savage. I wanted to be able to at least have a chance to revive him, but doesn't look like that's going to be the case. So I'm just going to finish this off. 53. Not ideal banners, but at least it was one shot. For a moment there, I thought that this team is not going to work. Alright, so there's the Resistance squad. Fully relicked up and looking really, really good. And we have Karth's team out here, which shouldn't be a problem. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go after the Geo squad first. That looks the trickiest right now. A really well relicked spy, high damage, and pretty fast brood as well. I think it's got a speed set 271. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go with my CLS squad, because definitely the Geo squad is the toughest one left. I'm going to go with CLS, Stormtrooper, Han and Watt. Now Han and Watt are the superstars against Geos, however relic they are, especially if you've got Han at G13 and the Zeta on him. With the Watt's tech, he's never going to lose taunt, and he's never going to dip below full protection. And because the Geos don't have AoEs, that leaves Luke, Han and Chewie to do tons of damage on their own. Over here, obviously going with the theme, Luke and Han are they're related by marriage, not related by blood, but I'm going to allow it for the theme. They're brother-in-law basically. But yeah, let's go ahead and see if this does the job against the Geos. So I'm going to go first and stun. Let's see, do I stun Poggle or this guy? Let's stun Brood Alpha, and then I'm going to put the taunting tech on Han, Stormtrooper Han, and then the damage tech on this Han, and then apply some couldn't apply the buff immunity, but that shouldn't be a problem. We should get rid of these guys pretty soon. Let's go and dispel so that we can target spy when we can. There's no spy, but we can get rid of Brood Alpha over here. There we go. So relatively simple. Let's get rid of Soldier. Let's do a heal over. What is this? I'm gonna use this and give some protection up. Because these guys look like they're doing tons of damage to him. Let's get rid of Brute and Poggle. I might lose a couple of banners, looks like. What this does is it triggers I don't know what this does, but damn, I was afraid of that. Lost 3 banners out there. Well, even if he had survived, I would have just got 58, so I would have just lost 2 banners. But that's fine. I was hoping that he would be a little more resilient, but that spy did hit hard. Alright, now what I want to do is let's see, what else do we have? We have bounty hunters, and I've got my troopers. I've got my um, first order, and I've got mm, my JTR to use against Karth and this one. So I think against Karth, I'll use the first order. Against bounty hunters, I'm going to use my JTR. And over here, I've gone with Sidious. Obviously, again, the granddaughter grandfather relationship here. And Sidious is actually a good friend of the Resistance. Before Finn got nerfed, or before Finn got reworked, I should say, because he's a completely different kit now. In the old days, Sidious used to be a very strong option to be put under a Finn lead. And those were the days when Finn lead wouldn't allow the opponent to take a single turn. And Sidious was really good because he would apply tons of exposures, give tons of turn meter to the Finn team. And if you're going against a GK Barris team, Sidious applies healing immunity on basic, so that was pretty helpful as well. So let's go ahead and take the bounty hunters on with this. Let's reduce some turn meter here. Let's actually go and hide everyone. I'm gonna do this, get some exposes, and then I'm gonna go after Greedo, since he can apply some thermals. Let's do some burning. Let's get rid of this guy. Now let's get rid of IG-88. He's weak and does tons of AoE as well. Now Bosk is probably going to taunt right now. See if he can't land a stun. Nope, didn't work. Okay, these guys are, yep, we managed to get rid of Boss Taunt, but Boba unfortunately got rid of our BB-8, which is unfortunate. Okay, I'm gonna go and try and see if I can't get down Boba now. Let's taunt. Let's reduce the turn meter on Bosk. And let's go after Boba. It's causing too much problem for us. Okay, let's go after Boba and taunt again. Let's reduce some turn meter here and get rid of him. Okay, healing immunity. Let's keep working on him. Healing immunity. Let's call Finn to assist to build up some damage. I think let's do this, the burning. Reduce some more turn meter. Heal up. Dengar is causing too much problem. I wish BB-8 was still around for Illuminated Destiny. That would have sped things up. Yeah, Dengar is always a problem. I might even end up losing Sidious over here. Let's hide Sidious so he doesn't get targeted. Nope, didn't help. Yeah, I'll probably lose Sidious now. So not being very efficient on banners. There, Sidious is gone. But we managed to one-shot it. Should have probably used my Wampa on this one. Man, Dengar is crazy. Yeah, not very efficient on banners, but I think as long as we one-shot everything, we do win. Let's see what we can take against. Yeah, I wanted to use first order against these guys. I'm going to go in with this team. So here again, we've got the father-son relationship, Kylo and Captain Han. And we have the additional reason I have Captain Han in there is because he can apply days on his basic, and he can help recover some protection and health, because we do need to end with 60 banners out here. So let's go ahead and do this, and hopefully we should be able to end with 60. I'm going to stun Juhani, and then I'm going to pass this over to Kylo Crew again, and then I'm going to stun Mission, and then give turn meter to everyone. And then try to work down Candrass. The good thing about this is the ability on the hunker down ability can really the cooldown gets reduced every time debuffs are applied, so I can keep applying I can keep using it, and it'll probably always be on cooldown. Okay, let's try to finish him off. Let's try to get the taunt back on Crew. This should do it. Okay, and then we can start working on this. Gives it back to Crew. Let's stun him again, get some turn meter going, and hopefully try to get this guy down. There we go. Now we'll try to work on Mission. Okay, there you see, this is what I meant. The hunker down ability, you immediately get the cooldown back, just because of all the debuffs that these guys apply. So now we need to find a way to get some amount of protection back on these guys. Let's use a basic for now. Probably might not get a chance. We'll end with 57 banners. Not ideal, but it is at least with one shot. So we do have our Padme team, and let me just do some quick math to see how much I need in order to win. Alright, looks like I need about 20 or 30 points, 26 points or so to win. 27 I think. So as long as we one-shot this, we should win, no problem at all. So not much of an issue. Now let me take a look at what exactly these guys do, because I've never really faced a resistance team, the heroes, before, let alone relic ones with Zetas. So they have his unique gives 100% counter chance. So these guys are going to be countering a lot, which is good for a Padme team, which is what I'm planning to take out here, because these guys are not going to be able to chew through the bonus protection. Rallying Call, dispel all debuffs. Okay, that doesn't matter for resistance, for Galactic Republic. Inspired deals special damage twice, can't be evaded. Becomes inspired, the game special bonus. Okay, and just tons of health recovery. So I think this guy is mostly like a healer. And then you've got Hero Po. Enemies lose 5% protection whenever they lose a debuff. Okay, so it's a good thing that Galactic Republic relies more on health. All buffs are if an enemy critically hits an inspired ally, all buffs are dispelled from the enemy at the end of the turn. So this is going to be problematic, because Galactic Republic relies on buffs, protection up buffs, and taunts. So if I hit an inspired enemy, then it's going to dispel the protection up and the taunt from GK. So I need to get rid of Po first, looks like, so that he prevents Inspire from spreading around. Special damage, dispel all buffs. Yep, if he's inspired, he dispels buff as well and inflicts buff immunity. So the buff immunity is the enemy of Galactic Republic as well. Day, stagger, damage over time, all that doesn't matter. Inspired. Vulnerable will be critically hit if able, which I don't think should happen if they have protection up. Galactic Republic. Okay, so Resistance Hero Poe is our first priority. We do have a few tanks over here, some tanky ones, but I think Padme should be able to get the job done. And here, obviously, the relationship for the theme is Padme and Jedi Knight Anakin are husband and wife. You've got, I think, 3 or 4 husband-wife combos in the team. The most synergy is obviously between Padme and Jedi Knight Anakin because their abilities are actually built into each other's kits. The Zetas also interact with each other. The next one I would say would be either Dark Basti with Darth Revan or Light Side Basti with Jedi Knight Revan. There's tons of synergy between them as well. And the last one I would say would be the Han and Leia. They've got very limited synergy for being a husband and wife. But those are the 4 husband-wife combos in the game right now. But this one definitely has the most synergy. So let's go with this and see if we can get them down. So they did go first. So let's go after Resistance Hero Poe. These guys do go fast. I'm impressed. Okay, let's Poe Dameron and Finn. Let's try to get rid of Finn out here. I'm going to go and give this to Anakin. So he applies some... Let's do this. And let's do a basic for now so that we can dispel that. Alright, 13 stacks. This should get some amount down. I think these guys, this is Inspire. Yeah, so that thing that you see out there, that is Inspire. So I'm going to do a basic over here, get rid of Finn so that we don't have to bother with that Inspire anymore. And I'm going to get rid of this Finn as well. Man, these guys are really tanky. Let's get rid of Resistance Hero Finn. Does tons of healing for the team. I'm going to go after Resistance Trooper because he's got Inspire. Basic over here, get rid of him. Yeah, so not much of an issue for the Padme team, but I have to say these guys were extremely fast and a little bit durable. So anyway, we ended with 57. So ended with 1889. Not the most efficient. We lost quite a few banners here and there. But we ultimately managed to pull off a victory. The thing with these themed things are I could have gone more efficient if I had, for example, used my troopers against the bounty hunters or done a few other things. But playing with these themed things, it's basically like fighting with a hand tied behind your back. It's fun though because it restricts what I can and cannot do, and it gives me a little bit more of a challenge. I think this would have been more of a straightforward victory, not very interesting if I had just gone ahead with a regular match. But it was interesting to go with a theme like this to end the week. So now next week also I've got a few themes planned for the next week. I've got a couple more in place that I have in mind. If you guys have any ideas for another theme that I can use in the third match of the last week, let me know about it, and I'll go ahead and use that. But otherwise, that's about it for this week. Thanks for tuning in. I'll catch you guys next week. Have a nice day.